It's the HBS show with lesson, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model. Yeah, Oluwa lifted me higher. Oh, now they wanna eat with me. Now they wanna drink with me. Now they see me as something. But I can't forget yesterday when they saw me as nothing. No one knows tomorrow, brother. No one knows tomorrow, sister. No one knows tomorrow, mama. No one knows tomorrow, Baba. Yeah. It's the HBS show with lesson, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
Wow, it's HBS show with blessing, history behind success. Today, our guest on this program, he is a fashionista, is a father, a hard-working man, a man who has imparted so much in the life of people. Who is this man? Join me as I make welcome to the program, the Permanent Secretary of Delta State Civil Service Commission, Frederick Yoro, to the program.
It's the HBS show with lesson, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
You look so handsome and very smart on the suit. What's the secret of this handsomeness?
God created every man and woman beautiful, so we're looking good for him aside that our families and our state of mind is actually the secret for us to look good as we are.
Okay. Your dress sense is a top notch. How do you get it done?
Yes, I know that a lot of the time people have actually asked me about it. I don't know, but I grew up discovering that I'm who I am, but I think if I want to trace it back, it goes back to my mom
Wow.
because when I was giving birth to, my father have waited for close to 6 years before I was giving birth to. So when I came on board, it was like
The golden
I
boy is
was
here.
actually treated like a golden child. My mother bought me trinkets. If you see, I'm surprised I didn't bring those pictures. That you would have seen them. From day one it has been like that, and it took another 6 years for another child
To come.
to come. So it has been like that. Just when I was telling some of my friends that I started using roll-on and perfume in primary four.
Oh yeah?
Revlon, roll-on and perfume. My mother ensured that it's part of what they got to me. So I just discovered that from what she taught me, I could not deviate it just like that.
So tell us about your humble background.
Well, first of all, I was born in 1967. I know a lot of people don't like to say that I was born about 2 months before the commencement of the Civil War. And I started primary school around 1972. I didn't do primary 6. By 1978, I had to move to the secondary school, went to Peterborough School. Yeah, I spent 5 years. But coincidentally, when we were writing about WAEC, a lot of us, nobody did their WAEC. It was, we were the first set, and the teachers of those days, I don't know whether it's only we, but you will discover that those who wrote WAEC between 1977, between 1983, 82, 83, down to 90s, some people wrote almost 4 or 5 times before they got their papers. So like after that 83, in 1984, I have to re-enroll in Worobu College, F1, where I made my papers, and by 1986, I find myself in University of Benin. I graduated, I read sociology and anthropology. I graduated in 1990 with a second class upper. Then by 1993, I found myself in the civil service as an administrative officer.
Okay. So with all these years in intervals, what was those challenges you you experienced during your upbringing?
Like I say, I think as a child, I became conscious of myself maybe when I was already in, let's say, primary four, because I remember, meanwhile, my father and my mother, they are, can I say stark illiterate? Let me say they are not literate, they are not educated, and so for them, education is something they don't play with. So my father was a little bit well to do, so I didn't have any problem of finance. I remember that when I was in primary school, if the driver drops me in class, himself and my mother will wait for me 12:30.
When you closed?
Yes, to pick me up. So, but around when I was in primary four, it's like my father thought that I was over pampered, and being a trader, he decided that I need to go through some ethics, and he said I must hawk
Wow.
within the market. So it became a struggle between himself and my mother. So if you leave this side, the way you are taking this side, the side will not be strong. Meanwhile, I grew up in Warri. I know the Warri background. I wouldn't see any serious challenges growing up. No, I can't remember any as in terms of. I think the only challenges like I told you, is not being able to make my papers first time when I wrote in 1983. But I can say I came down to the whatever that was invoked around that time, because a lot of the time there was too much playfulness. So you will go to most schools, about out of maybe 40, 50 who enrolled, you discover there's only about 8 to 10 that will make their papers. So people keep on re-enrolling. But when I went to River College, I think our principal then was Mr. Siakpere. So he actually talked to us. By the time we were coming out in 1985, most of us made our papers.
Like always.
Yes, and when I got to university, I knew, as at then, I have become aware of myself, so I knew what I wanted. Though I got my admission letter late, 2 days to matriculation, when some people have already spent about 2 months, that. And immediately after the matriculation, the 20th of December, last week of January, we started exams.
Wow.
Meanwhile, I have not received up to 6 lectures. I have to copy my notebooks and whatever. So after the first semester, my first semester was a little bit bloody, but there was no failure, no carryover, and I told myself, if I was able to pass through this without that list, there is trouble for them. Second semester at the final year, I proudly say it. If you go to University of Benin, ask them, Sociology Department, 1990. I'm a trailblazer. Look, I know what brought me now, so I read and pass. I came out, I narrowly missed first class. I came out with second class upper very high.
Wow.
It was something I actually went for, something I like. And that passion has always been anything I do. I want to be the best.
So how were you able to manage friends in school at that time? Because in schools there are some persons that are carried away with their friends.
Yes.
At the end of the day, what they order for versus what they receive is no longer the same.
Yes.
So now you went to school with a mindset of coming back with a good result of which you actually achieved. So how were you able to manage friends? Because good and bad friends, they all came around you.
I think I dealt with that while I was in secondary school, like I told you, because of my experience. Part of my problem were those bad friends. That's why I came out having just barely 2 credits. So by the time I was going to university, I knew that, for instance, first of all, I was never in the hostel.
Okay.
I live off campus or true. And because I know myself, if you want us to play, I'll play. But once it is that time to read, and not through university, apart from maybe final year once in a while, I never went to class to read. I read in my own off campus. And my friends, they know too. When it is time for play, though I still do not have too much friends then, because I recall that when I was entering the university, I didn't have any friend that was an undergraduate. In my street, I was the first undergraduate. Yes, so I didn't have much. The only 2 friends I actually have were my friends who were choristers together in St. Andrew's Cathedral, Warri. Incidentally, the 3 of us wrote JAMB. I was the only one who got admission that year.
Wow.
So each time I want to flex, I'll wait. Maybe I spend about 2-3 weeks in school. I'll come back one weekend. And once I come back to school, I don't have much friends apart from few of them who are in the same department with me. And they know, they call me Wako because I read and play.
Okay.
But I don't live it. So I was able to differentiate between what I came for in that school and friendship.
Okay. You said you're born and brought up in Warri. And what can you say about Warri? Yes, because some persons have this negative mindset about Warri. Now you're born and brought up in Warri,
Yes.
and you came out outstanding.
Proudly Warri tomorrow.
Good.
Proudly
So
Warri.
tell us, what can you say about Warri?
Well, I will recall sometime when I was in university, some of my friends, those ones from Lagos, University of Benin, Lagos, and even Benin. When you mention Warri, they run away. Especially NRA Junction, whatever. They just see us as. But like I told them, just like the way some of them grew up in Ojota, all those places in Lagos that were notorious. You could say Warri was notorious. But let me tell you, while we are in University of Benin, every one of us who came from Warri, we are trailblazers. I do not know. So, though, during that time there was Shell, a lot of the oil company was there, and there. So, in any place where there's economic activities, where it is booming, you will still see some of the ugly side. And I know that sometimes people, even now, they'll say, Warri is not a place for a child to grow up. Well, for those of us who were there, we grew up in Warri. And you know that when, as a child, both the good and the bad and the ugly are around you, and you're able to come out who you are, successful, it means that there are some characters in you, there are some inbuilt character that God have given to you to be able to discern good from evil. So while good, evil, ugly is taking place, you should be able to pick out what you need. Like I told you, I said, in my street, to the best of my knowledge, I was the first that I know. And after that one, okay. So I don't see it as if it is Warri itself per se. I think it's the people and what you think you are. Why some of us came out. But the 1 year I spent in Urhobo College, as stubborn as Urhobo College was, there were a lot of stubborn persons. Yet, right here in the service, a lot of us who came out from the college are here. Some of them in House of Assembly. So it means that if they say a place is bad, whatever, I think it is the way you
Good
look at
things
it.
are still there.
Yes, the way you look at it.
Okay. In one word, how can you describe worry? Is worry for the lazy people or for the strong?
It's for the
people?
strong. If you are lazy, you cannot survive in worry.
So how is it for the strong people? How is it for the strong people?
For the strong people, like I told you, first of all, where is the good, the bad, the ugly? You need a strong character. First of all, to be able to discern that you need to stay on the path of good. And where you have maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 negative friends, you need to be strong to accept yourself. Then back then there was what we call Jaguda and the rest. So
don't worry.
Yeah, so you need, those of us who grew up in Okomagba area, Ameta, you need to be strong. At times you have different rings of friends. I bang you, you will not pass through this place. So if you are not strong, you cannot go through those ones. It's something that is just unfortunate. I don't know whether I'll call it fortunate that when I started giving birth, it's just only about 2-3 years my children spent to worry. All of them grew up here. Then we always go back. My parents, until my father died, wasn't worried. My mom, more than half of my younger ones are still there. So from time to time, we still go back to worry. And it's each time I tell them that I want to go to worry, everybody's
the excitement.
So I think it's for the strong because you always see the negative things around. But once you are able to accept yourself, it was accepting myself that removed me from part of the negative things when I went to invest on me. When I come back, let's be able to. And I know a lot of us there. Some of our friends in Benin, when they graduated, they left Benin to join us in worry. Yes, and today they are there. A lot of them are successful. Yes, so lawyers, a lot of them are. Some of them are in the service.
Wow. So
I know some people say, "I know worry is not a good place to raise your child." No, depends on you.
That's true.
Though my mother was very harsh, so with the strong hands, I was able to conquer whatever that would have brought me down.
Okay. So what is the major role your mother played in your life?
Character molding. My father was a quiet type. You're very strict, very quiet. Then my mom did not allow you be. And if my father was alive, he knows now. I give it to 2 of them, but I know that sincerely I am who I am today because of my mother. At 83, when I could not make my papers, at times it could, when you have some friends, you could just be moving around. My mother was always telling me, look at your friends, so if you follow these ones, harsh. My mother can go the length of using police to threaten you if you don't want to behave well. And if not for her strong will and strong hand, I will not have gone on to go well. I probably will not have even gone to the university. So I give that to her, and up to today, even my younger ones will tell you, as I am now, if my mother is here, if my mother is annoyed, I run away. I will still be thinking that he may probably flaw, you understand? So my mother is about 82, 83 now, but still strong and still molding. Some of my kids went on holiday sometimes back. By the second year, come and go, they say no. Say mama is too strict. So she had a lot of fun. My father was quiet, and though a disciplinarian, but on the extreme quiet side, then my mother,
No nonsense woman.
harsh and you just have to be what she wants you to be. House cleaning, washing clothes, waking up early, going to church. Those are what she developed in me. And each time, if person like me, if I sing Sweet Mother, even my friends will tell you, if you visit me, the moment my mother is coming, you run away. Except, of course, probably I have finished all she wants me to do. If there are some still remaining, including you, you will join me to finish the job. She was actually my character model.
Wow. In case you are just joining us, it is HBS show History Behind Success. And my guest on this program is the Permanent Secretary of Civil Service Commission, Frederick Euro. You can also subscribe and like our YouTube page, HBS Show with Blessing. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the HBS show with Blessing, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model. Yeah, Oluwa lifted me higher. Oh, now they wanna eat with me. Now they wanna drink with me. Now they see me as something. But I can't forget yesterday when they saw me as nothing. No one knows tomorrow, brother. No one knows tomorrow, sister. No one knows tomorrow, mama. No one knows tomorrow, Papa. Yeah. It's the HBS show with Blessing, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
Good to know that you're still there. Welcome back. You're still on the program, HBS Show with Blessing, History Behind Success. Before the break, our guest on the program, Frederick Euro, said that the mother sold a very vital part in his life by character molding. What he is today is by the help of what the mother imparted in him. Now, by the grace of God, you are now a permanent secretary, of which is the last cadre in the civil service. Tell us, how did you start in the civil service, rising to this level?
Well, I earlier said that I was employed into the civil service. I think that's November 1993 as an administrative officer. I grew through the ranks, level 8, 9, 10, 12, up to level 17 before I was appointed permanent secretary in November 2022. And for all those times until I was made a permanent secretary, I have worked in 16 ministries.
16 ministries.
Yes. So I started as an administrative officer, posted to Ministry of Agric. Later, I was deployed to the Delta State Agricultural Development Program (ADP). I was there until I think 2001 when I was posted to the Ministry of Water Resources when it was newly created. From there, I moved to the Ministry of Women Affairs. From there, I think for about 9 months when they dissolved the cabinet, I headed the State Commission for Women. From there, I moved to the Ministry of Education. From education, for the first time, I was made the functioning permanent secretary in the Ministry of Transport. That was in 2007. 2007 too, I moved to Ministry of Energy. That same year. I think around January 2008, I was posted to Ministry of Youth Development. That same year, I moved to State Sports Commission. That same year, I moved to Board of Internal Revenue, where I spent close to, I was in Board of Internal Revenue from 2008 to 2015.
Wow.
As a director, I came back, was posted back, and was posted to the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. Culture and Tourism from 2015 to 2017 as Director of Admin. From there, I moved to the Civil Service Commission as the Director of Planning, Research and Statistics. And because there was no permanent secretary, I functioned there as permanent secretary. I remained there till 2021, around October, where I was moved to Directorate of Project Monitoring. 8 months later, I was brought back in September 2022 to Civil Service Commission again. From here, I was made the permanent secretary in December last year. So I've spent close to about 7 years in Civil Service Commission.
Wow. So does it mean that before one will become a permanent secretary, you must go run some ministries first? Is it part of the requirements?
Well, by cadre, I'm an administrative officer. And you know, as an administrative officer, you can move from ministry to ministry. Unlike some other regional cadre that cannot leave their MDs.
Okay.
As an administrative officer, you move, and actually movement gives you a lot of experience. For the ministry that I have moved around so far, I was made the permanent secretary there. I don't, especially even remaining in Civil Service Commission, I've gone on and gathered all the experiences that is required for me to, if I go to any ministry or in an event, you see the number of people coming to say hi because of
Interaction.
the interaction and the movement. And I think maybe that's part of the reason. 2, contributed to my appointment, because if you look at my CV, you see all the movements. And like I told you, from level 8, I climbed all the way to 17.
Yes.
Skip any. For me, it's a good experience.
So how did you feel the day your name was announced as the permanent secretary?
I was actually very thrilled. You know that for every civil servant, your hope is to be made the permanent secretary. So that evening when it was my friends that actually heard the announcement. I was in church and I began to receive call. So when they told me in church, I don't know. All I just did was just to lie down on the altar and say, God, thank you. Because it's not everyone who came to the service with me at the permanent secretary. Some of them are dead. Some of them are level 17, still there. Some of them are even senior to me.
Yes.
But
Grace found you.
Grace, opportunity. All I give it to God, because for some of us, a lot of people will tell you you need to have a godfather, you need to be able to take courts. For me, The only Godfather I have is God. And, when you trust in God, God will place men
Yes.
who
Oh, favor.
help you to achieve that which you require. I give all the glory to God. I thank His Excellency, the former governor, Jennifer Yokowa, who found me worthy to be appointed as secretary of the Delta State Civil Service.
All right. How did you meet your wife?
Okay. Met my wife sometimes in 1991. There's the way God arranges things. When I graduated, I've attended about 2 different services. No job yet. My father was selling in main market for it. I joined him. I was going there to help him. So while I was there, a young man saw the way I was attending to people. He asked my father, "Is this your son, not the one that graduated?" I said, "Yes." So he introduced me to somebody. That's the way that person brought me to Asaba, got me forms, and I applied. Coincidentally, meeting that man, I met some of his children, and one of them happened to be my wife.
Wow.
So we were just platonic friends for up and upward of close to 5-6 years until the relationship started to grow.
Wow. You agree with me that our youth of these days, some of our youth just want to get things done faster. That impatience is always fighting with them. They are
Yeah.
strongly with it. What's your take on that?
Of recent now they say the education is a scam. That's their
slogan.
But even while I was growing up, I remember that in my streets, we have them too. So they refuse to go to school. They want it the fast way. And some of our parents are not helping matters too. Far back then too, you see that. Is it not your mate that have done this? You are here, you understand? But for me, sincerely, for those who know me, they know that I don't know whether it is my belief in God, but like I told you, by my upbringing, back by my mother, my father is a hard-working person. He was a trader. Far back 1969, I was already built, I think, about 2 different buildings. So you will discover that I grew up with a father and mother who believe that there is dignity in labor. So I have never, for one, thought about making money. When we joined the service in 1993, at least I have close to 5-6 friends who were working in Shell. They see us as a nobody because of what they were paying them there. Some of them were in Global, some of them were in Chevron. When we go out, during I say, keep your money, don't worry, let us entertain you. Your money will not take you anywhere. But in 2003, the things changed. When Ibori was the governor, a lot of things changed. A lot of them left the area companies and wanted to come to the civil service. And they came. By then, we already far gone, so a lot of them became our juniors. So for me, like I always tell my kids, I will not stop you from having 1 or 2 friends because they are part of what mold you. Meet them. This one will be saying this one will be saying this. But my role in your life will determine a lot of things. I will tell you that in spite of all that you have seen, you need to be focused. You choose what you want to do. Be focused because if mistakenly you want quick wealth, in those days when we were reading Hadley Shays, we'll have one of them come easy, go easy. That's the way like this. If your wealth come easy, it will go easy. So for me, you just need to know that there's dignity. But when they say labor, it's not suffering.
Mhm.
When we are in the service, well, even though it's not all of us who became permanent secretary, but a lot of them got to level 70. You understand? And then even while we are in the service too, there's a lot of us fell on the wayside. They could not manage it. Initially, it was a little bit difficult. As a level 8, level 9, you are struggling to have enough to have a roof over your head, rent, whatever. The moment you got married, 1 or 2 kids begin to struggle for how to pay their school fees. You know, but all the same, I see the civil service as a good training school for anyone who wants to succeed in life. We may not all be at par or on the same pedestal. But if you think about me, I don't know what I would have done if I had not gone into the civil service. So my take is that there is no quick way to wealth. You work and you wait for God's time to be blessed. And it comes.
Okay. Just before we go, you are the permanent secretary of Delta State Civil Service Commission. You agree with me that His Excellency the Governor of Delta State, Dr. Sheriff Oborowori, has been doing a whole lot in the state. So tell us, what has he done so far in the service?
Well, you recall that during his campaign, he came to meet us in the secretariat and told us that he's asking for our vote so that when he comes in, he wants us to partner with him. And I don't want to mind words for what I've seen so far. I was telling somebody yesterday, first of all, he has the interest of civil servant at heart. And he has shown us that we are important to his agenda. When he came in, the former governor was already making attempts to ensure that all those who are being owed arrears are paid. He cleared them. That was something that if you give it to some other person, they will tell you, okay, let it be. That was in billions. He cleared them. And since then, he has taken our welfare. So first, when we were made permanent secretaries, it was under him now we got our vehicles.
Wow.
You will see that even when they wanted to pay the new minimum wage, he told us he has no problem. He's waiting for the federal government to announce that he should be paid, and that what the federal government announces is what we pay. And we went just for a meeting, even without normal consultation. He gave the approval that the minimum wage should be implemented. And it was implemented. Come to training, you can see that all over the service, civil service company. We did one training last year. We're planning to do another one. If you go to most of the ministries, they release this fund through the office of the head of service for training. Some of them, through some empowerment programs, even civil servants have been trained. So far, I've not seen anywhere where we said this is what we want, and he has not complied. I see him as somebody who actually knew that for a government to succeed, the wheel of progress is oiled by the civil servants. And they have shown us that he had our interests at heart. I know he's going to do more because his capacity, he told us, capacity building is part of what he wants. So every step of the way, he always emphasizes it. He's looking for ways to bridge the gap in the skills of civil and public servants. Spending a lot doing that too. It's something that is taught most of the time.
That's good. All right, before we go, as an old worry, we want you to like crack a joke with us in worry language.
Why did they carry last of it? Well, I know I've left worry for a long time, and if you leave worry too long, even just 1 week, you feel me? So some of the languages you may not even understand them again. So I don't even know they want to crack now. Sincerely, because about 2 weeks ago, I went for the burial, and I was just seeing them. I just discovered that some of the terms they were using, I could not even understand. I said, which one can be that one now? I say you don't go Asaba now, you don't become an old man, you're not able to come back again. So even the latest news now, no. So sincerely, if you tell me to crack a joke in worrying, I don't even know they want to crack because I'm behind. If my younger ones that are there, if they come here now, you will be shocked. Speaking the pidgin English now, I'm no longer fluent again because I have actually left them. They're all the same. I still think that maybe after retirement, I'll be retiring in 2027. I'll still go back to work.
Okay. So just tell us something. Just speak the pidgin. We won't hear it.
You won't hear the pidgin? Okay. Well, like I tell you, the carry last. As I did so, anytime, any day, I'll be worry picking. You see the program that is being organized by, what's the name, Phoenix, worry again. I need a mission for anything. Because when you reach there, you go see some of the time you go see your classmate. Phoenix was my classmate now in Mo Primary School. You will see all the different languages you could boss out. So me, I would still like to meet up again because I don't slack well for the worry language. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time on this program. All right, we've come to the end of the program. No doubt that you had a swell time on today's episode, and our guest has been the Permanent Secretary of Delta State Civil Service Commission, Frederick Bureau. He said that you must be hardworking. Labor does not mean suffering. You must be determined, you must be focused. And also, learn to choose your friends. Everybody must not be your friend. Stay with people that are going the same way with you. Stay focused. Throw away those ones that are not in the same boat with you. It will help you to succeed in life. I am blessing upon you to do it again next week.
It's the HBS show with Blessing, the Screen Goddess. History behind success of your role model.